Hey everyone, my name is StarBus69 and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be doing a analysis of my personal best in Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 80%. This is kind of a fun little video explaining what I do in the run, my thought process, and kind of, what goes on during this. This run is posted under my YouTube channel. But be warned, up until around 9 minutes or so, the audio was corrupted and it is very loud and staticky. So I have the audio muted, and around 9 minutes or so, I will pump up the volume to the max. But for now, I have some Zelda lo-fi in the background just for some background music. You probably can't hear it because it's really quiet, but other than that, let's just start up the run. I'll just go through it and kind of explain what I am doing. So the first thing here that I do is I am actually waiting. So I'm in order to submit the run, you have to show the title screen because you need to show the version information. And I'm playing on the latest version of Nintendo Switch, so 1.6. So I showed that to prove that what version I was playing on, because you need to show that in the run for it to be accepted. Okay, so the first part here is pretty standard. The opening cutscene is very inconsistent, so we skip the opening. The timing starts when you gain control of Link. So for that, when we gain control of Link, I set the timer minus 1.5 so that I press the spacebar shortly after I skip the cutscene, and the goal is to get it timed up so it hits 0 and starts when I gain control of Link. I'll see if I'm actually accurate because I usually use 1.2, so switching to 1.5 is different for me. Yeah, as you can see, it was a little late. The timer started a little early, but it was like 0.2 seconds, so it doesn't matter. So the first thing here, obviously, we're going to need the Sheikah Slate. You can skip the Sheikah Slate, but it involves some glitches that are against the rules, and it's slower anyway, so we just grab the Sheikah Slate. So the first thing we want to do is normally you would watch the opening cutscene, but we're actually going to skip that by doing a precise glitch called SOR clip. In this glitch, it involves the Sheikah scope and the way that it works. So the Sheikah scope will actually teleport you backwards when you pull it out. So what I'm doing here is I'm priming the Sheikah slate by pulling it out to get rid of that first animation. Coming up here, I am precisely doing it, and then I pull out the Sheikah slate, actually fall down here first. But I'm going to pull out Sheikah Slate so that Link gets teleported behind him a little bit, and then I get teleported out of the Shrine of Resurrection, and I just pop right out. I'm out of bounds right now, so I gotta climb up this little wall here to escape the Shrine of Resurrection. So skipping the Shrine of Resurrection, skipping the opening cutscene like that, skips the day and night cycle. So the day and night cycle never starts, so the time is always stuck on 5:15 a.m. So the next thing I do over here, and 5:15 a.m. is very good because it actually helps with some visual cues that we need the time to stay still. So it helps out a lot. So anyway, I'm coming over here to grab this pot lid. Now I could grab a Boko shield, but it's very inconsistent and I'm not at the skill level where that is necessary. So I grab a pot lid because we're going to be using shield surfing a lot in this run. I also grab some backup food. I climb up this wall, but I make sure to hold ZL because it makes it climb faster. And here I do one of the first shield surfs. This was kind of slow, but I shield surfed all the way to the axe. We're going to need this for setting up some tricks later on in the run. And basically, yeah, the shield is very important because it allows us to do a lot of glitches using shields. And I'll explain them in further detail when we get to them. So here we gotta talk to Zelda. I don't know if I talked about this before, but we set the game language to French because it is just the fastest language simply because of a little bit of text and mostly voice acting. Zelda speaks very quickly when in French. So over here, I am doing whistle sprinting, which allows me to regain health while regain sprint while still running at 80% of the max speed. So it's very useful, but it's best to swap between the two. So grabbing 5 arrows and this Boko bow here. I'm going to be shield surfing to climb this wall. So here, if I do it correctly, Link will actually grab onto the wall and do an extra jump, which can let me climb the whole thing, but that didn't happen, so I had to climb up normally without jumping. And I'm doing whistle sprinting, which allows me to regain stamina while only running at 80% of the speed, so I'm able to preserve my speed for the longest amount of time possible. Now here comes up the first glitch using shield surfs, and that is called a shrine clip. So as you notice, we never got the Great Plateau Tower. And because we never got the Great Plateau Tower, the shrines around the Great Plateau never were activated. Because if you didn't know this, when you activate the tower, you activate all 4 of the shrines and you're able to enter all of them. However, in any percent speedrun, we skip the tower, so we have to enter the shrines through other means. So this is where we use skew. Basically what skew is I'm going to pull out my shield and do a shield jump into a wall, but Link's going to put away his shield immediately and then slide down the wall like this. So he slid down the wall like that, and in each of the 4 shrines, I'm able to do a precise setup to cause Link, when I unequip the shield midair, Link will snap to the direction that the wall was facing. Then he will snap back to neutral position. So by doing this, Link moves forward a little bit and kind of jitters around. It's very strange, but it allows him to clip through walls. And using this, we're able to clip into every single one of the 4 shrines on the Great Plateau, basically skipping the Plateau Tower entirely. So I'll rewind. Yeah, I'm going to try pausing as little as possible when it comes to bigger glitches, especially like shield clipping, which is used a lot in the run. So here, I am using a precise setup to clip right into the shrine. So this shrine's pretty easy. You basically, to enter the shrine, you have to press A on the elevator. However, you don't have to be on top of the elevator. You just need to be near the elevator. So when I do that, I'm near the elevator, I stand up, and I'm able to get into the elevator and enter the shrine. Now, actually, I kind of messed up a little bit here. This shrine is on a timer. So I have to run over here and press A to activate the shrine this pedestal before the gears turn in a way where I can get 1 cycle. So I actually miss 1 cycle on the shrine, which loses about maybe 4 seconds if I'm fast. So I was a little worried here. But I grabbed the Sheikah Slate, and basically I'm supposed to stasis this gear very quickly. I'm very strict timing, so I did that, and I gotta unstasis it while I'm on it, and I just barely jump off. If I didn't jump off sooner, I would have fallen in the void, and normally you're supposed to stasis that boulder so you can run past it, but I missed it sadly. So over here I'm going to conserve stamina, and there's this boulder that you're supposed to stasis and launch off using momentum, but I can actually do a precise jump here called the Swifty jump that allows me to just skip the boulder entirely and saves about 4 seconds. So that's the stasis split. It's pretty straightforward. It's one of the longest splits in the game because really we don't have many things. We don't have much access to things early in the game, and we're basically just setting up for all the glitches and tricks that'll show up later in the run. So, okay, here's another thing here too. This text box with the monk, I'm not skipping the text immediately because if you skip immediately, the load time is like 40 seconds. But if you wait until the monk starts disappearing or when his text goes away, and then you skip, the load time will be much faster. So there is only like 10 seconds. So here we talk to the old man. I'm going to access the bottom option, top, bottom. And that is the fastest way to skip through his text. This is the only time you have to actually skip through text and choose the correct options. Every other time, you can just spam his talk. So because it's the only one with dialogue options. There we go. I went bottom, top, bottom. And I'm about to do the first stasis launch. So stasis is all built off of momentum. If you stasis something and you can hit stuff with, you can hit the bolt object to get momentum. And here I'm going to hit it to gain a power and use an arrow to change the direction of it. I actually grab back the arrow. By doing this, I can make the boulder fly in a specific direction that I can get Link to fly in many different ways that the game normally. It's not a glitch, but it's just very useful and very cool looking. So anyway, the next glitch is actually the most important glitch in the 90% speedrun here. I'm doing a very precise glitch. Actually, this one's not very precise, but this is one of the hardest tricks to learn in Breath of the Wild and is the main killer of many runs and is one of the hardest things when you start off speedrunning. It is called the bullet time bounce. So the reason why we needed those arrows and a shield and an axe, those are some of the most powerful items in the entire game because they allow you to set up for bullet time bounces. So the four shrines on the Great Plateau are very spread out. They are all over the plateau, and it takes a long time to get to each of the shrines. So we gotta find a way to get to the shrines quickly. But red Bokos, when you shield surf on top of them, they go into a ragdoll state. And because they go into ragdoll state, if you're in bullet time, it slows down the game time, of course. It also likes to preserve your momentum. So if you're slowed down in bullet time mode, like everything's slowed down, and you hit something, when you leave bullet time, instead of, shield surfing off the Boca like normal, you actually get your velocity multiplied by 17 because that's how much the game slows down. So by doing this, I can pull out my bow and arrow at a specific time here. Now I set up the Boko and Link's angle in the right way so that when I pull out the bow here, I'm going to hit the Boko's back and the Boko is actually going to ragdoll here. Because I hit his back and the Boko ragdolled, which basically shoots me off of the Boko, but because the game is slowed down by 17 times, it will multiply the speed that I get from shield surfing off of the Boko, will multiply that velocity by 17, which allows me to do this. So here I'm setting up the Bokos, I'm setting up Link's angle, setting up time to jump, I jump, and here's what happens. So I just rocketed off of that Boko. And that is one of the coolest tricks in Breath of the Wild. And really, oh, here it is. Here's another glitch that I need to explain. You're going too fast, me. That is one of the most cool. That is one of the coolest glitches in Breath of the Wild, and is really the big selling point to speedrunning this game. It is really fun and very satisfying to pull off. Anyway, that glitch that I just did there is called a fall damage cancel. The way that it works is that when Link is falling, he takes fall damage, and we are really high in the air. Except we don't have the paraglider, so we can't just paraglide down and negate all of our fall damage like you normally would in the game. So how we do this is we enter throw aim mode, and we start the animation of Link throwing his axe. But we cancel that animation by unequipping or re-equipping something else. By doing this, it resets Link's position, so the game thinks that Link started falling at this height instead of, already. It resets his velocity, basically. It resets Link's position, and the game thinks that he's falling from this new height. So it negates all fall damage because I was really close to the ground when I did it. So the game only thought that I dropped a little bit, even though I dropped a lot. So anyway, we run up here to the cryo shrine, and I'm just doing another skew right here, and I'm gonna do another shrine clip. Pretty standard stuff. Unlike the stasis shrine, I actually have to do two shrine clips. One to get into the shrine, the other one to clip into the elevator so I can actually access the elevator and enter the shrine. So that is that for cryo. No major mistakes in this run at all. I had some minor ones in stasis, but this is why it's a PP, is because there were no major mistakes whatsoever. And there are also some miracles that I'll explain as well. So next in cryo, the biggest thing here is really there's going to be a little trick called cryo skip. When a cryonis block is rising, Link is able to shield surf on top of it. And here you go. Shout out to E-Master. Why do I only hear static? So he helps me out, and now the static is actually gone. There you go. Static is actually gone now. Okay, so the Cryonis block, basically when Link jumps off of a rising Cryonis block, he can take the momentum that comes up from the rising Cryonis block and jump at the right time and basically shoot him upwards. And I can jump over that ledge, skipping about, saving about 7 seconds. What's up, bro? Also, that's me. I think I'm actually going to start talking, so I'll keep it muted because I'll actually talk for a little bit. So anyway, I wait out the monk's text like normal. All right, there we go. And now I'm going to do the next bullet time bounce. This one is going to go from Cryonis all the way to Magnesis. And I'm going to do a short trick that actually will help me when it comes to the fall damage cancel. Because the fall damage cancel, if you get a really low angle at Magnesis, it's very difficult to do a fall damage cancel like normal. Because if you start a fall damage cancel and you're too low to the ground, the fall damage cancel won't work and you will just simply die. So what I did here is I did Sheikah Slate storage. So the Sheikah Slate, when you pull out something for the first time, it plays a cool little animation. Like when I pulled out the Sheikah scope, it showed an animation of Link pulling out the slate and going into the scope. Same thing happens when you pull out the map. Now what I did here is I basically I did a sprint attack with the axe, and shortly afterwards I pressed minus. Now minus is to pull out the map. And the game kind of is in this weird state where it thinks I've pulled out the map, but I haven't put it away yet. So anytime that I pause the game, either it's pausing or pressing the D-pad or opening the map, the game will play the animation of Link putting away the map. And this is where the storage part comes in, because we basically canceled that animation by swinging our axe uphill by doing a sprint attack. So we have the animation of Link putting away the map stored in the game right now, and we can activate that whenever we want by pressing the D-pad or by pausing. So right here, basically I'm doing a slower but more consistent method that I made up for the bomb or the Magnesis BTB, and it is very useful. Also known as bounce that boy. There's a little bit of frame lag here. I think my stream was just laggy today, but there it is. That is the second bullet time bounce. We're going all the way to Cryonis. We got to go over the Great Hyrule Forest, or not the Great Hyrule Forest. I don't know what the forest is actually called, but yeah. So I'm trying to go over top of that forest, and I did successfully. I actually didn't need. I'm actually pretty good height here, where I don't need to actually do slate storage, but here's the thing about slate storage. So right now I have the animation of Link putting away his Sheikah Slate is stored in Link. So the way that what I'm gonna use this is you have to be in a grounded state in order to do this. During the whole animation, Link is in a grounded state. So basically I get shot to the ground because Link will just fall really quickly while putting away the slate. So for the whole duration of Link putting away the slate, that whole animation, I will just be falling directly down like a meteor into the ground, but I won't take any fall damage. So even if I'm super close to the ground, if I press a D-pad, I will just simply teleport to the ground. Another thing here is this is the Magnesis Shrine right now, but it is in an unloaded state, where the shrine itself isn't actually loaded, and a part that isn't loaded is the door to the shrine. So theoretically, you can just run inside of the shrine without needing to do the clip and save about 10 seconds. It is very useful, but sadly I did not get it this run. Last second the shrine loaded, so I had to do the shrine clip. And as you saw, I actually did do slate storage correctly, where I just pressed the D-pad to pause the game and Link shot downwards to the ground. Alright, so I'm going to do the normal shield clip right here. All right, pretty good. I gotta do a second one to get inside of the elevator, and I enter the shrine. So that's up to Magnesis Shrine. I'm actually kind of freaking out at this point because this is the best pace I've ever had going into Magnesis. I usually enter Magnesis around 10 minutes, but I actually saved about 20 seconds because I lost almost no time before this. So Magnesis Shrine is actually one of the most boring shrines. It has one of the hardest BTBs. That BTB is actually very precise. It has one of the hardest BTBs to do. However, the shrine itself is actually not that hard at all. So it's kind of an underwhelming shrine. Magnesis is actually probably one of the most useless runes used in any percent, other than Cryo. Cryo is literally only used like once, so Cryonis is technically the most useless rune, but Magnesis is close behind because I'm pretty sure we don't use it for the rest of the run. We may use it. Well, no, we do. Magnesis is actually pretty useful, but we only use it not nearly as much as bombs and stasis, and you'll find out why later, sooner enough. You'll find out later in the run. All right, so on to bomb segment. The bomb segment for me is actually my worst segment, but it's one of the easiest segments. Bombs is very strange because the BTB is different from all of the other BTBs. And all the other BTBs that I've done, which are bullet time bounces, the Boko hasn't noticed me. And by that, he's not looking at me. Like, the Bokos don't know I'm there. I'm stealthily jumping off of them. And this makes their patterns very consistent. However, with the Bomb Shrine, it is very different. I'm going to be doing it while four Bokos are all have their attention on me. So they're all going to be throwing stuff at me. They're going to be shooting arrows at me. It's a lot of different stuff. So here I'm actually going to do a stasis launch. This is actually a pretty precise and pretty hard stasis launch to do. I'm actually pretty proud of this, that I got this pretty much perfectly. Oh, except for one thing, yeah. So it's kind of weird, but what happened there is that I was doing box walk, which basically is pretty precise. I have to stasis this box and climb on top of it, but I have to walk backwards very slowly to climb over top of this little seam here, and I'm trying to land on the bottom here before, I land over here. So a problem was is that this kind of happened too early, and Link got stuck on it, and the box exploded on Link, which did this. So yeah, as you can see, the box and Link do not get along very well. That's pretty lovely. So Link and the box, they don't get very well. They don't get along very well. So I lost 2 hearts by doing this, and I need to be on full HP entering the bomb shrine, and you'll see why later. But not good. I'm on 1 heart, so I gotta eat some backup food. So here I'm actually whistle sprinting to get on top of here so I can manipulate the Bokos to be in a good RNG spot. So here's 2 different things. This is the bomb BTB, and here's kind of my thought process and what I'm wanting. So there's a Boko back here. He's got a bow. Can't really see it very well, but he's got a bow. He's targeting me. And there's 3 Bokos here. One's got a bow, and one is behind the guy with the bat and shield. The guy with the bat and shield is the guy I want to bounce off of. Now, the guy behind him might go over here and grab this barrel. Most of the time, he grabs his barrel and chucks it at you. And it can hit your shield and knock you back. So what happened here was he grabbed the bow here. We're trying to get this guy to come up closer to us. So he could shoot us with a bow, and he can throw this barrel at us. So the guy in the center, here he is. He's right where I wanted him to be, and I didn't really notice at this point. Like, I'm not very focused. I'm kind of hyper. I'm a type 1 diabetic, and after I eat, pretty much my blood sugar goes higher every time I eat, which is very normal for every person. However, for me, it actually makes me kind of hyper and I lose focus on the run, and it makes runs very difficult to complete. But I guess I got lucky, I don't know. But anyway, it makes it very hard to focus here, and I didn't actually notice the Boko grabbing the barrel here. So I'm kind of like panicking, like I'm swapping between the two guys very quickly, and I finally get to the guy that I want to bounce off of. And I have my shield out, I'm ready to go. I didn't even notice this guy throwing it, so I jumped. But I jumped prematurely, and the guy threw his barrel at me, so I got knocked back. But the Boko's still there, so we have another chance. So I gotta wait for his animation of throwing a rock to be done, then he shot an arrow, and then I can jump. Oh, no, I can't, because I didn't realize that there's a Boko in the back with the bow and arrow that I talked about earlier, and he shot me midair. This is what I mean by this run had bad RNG, because that is a very low chance of happening, and it's kind of unlucky for all three of those things to kind of come at me at once. Now, I'm thinking the run's dead at this point. I'm not really caring. This guy somehow hit me again and knocked me down to half a heart. And I'm over here like, you know what, I don't care anymore. I'm just going to wait. And a miracle happened. So notice where the Boko's standing. He can actually run up close to me while I'm trying to run away. He can just completely mess up. But instead, he pulls out his shield and walks backwards. And he's still back here. He doesn't show up until after I get up here. And I get hit again, but he all he did was back up with his shield. And now that I'm up here again and I'm back in this position, I can actually manipulate the Boko where he actually normally he would run around the side or whatever, but he stops. Why does he stop? He stops here. And now, if you don't know, he's in the perfect position. He's exactly where I wanted him to be in the first place. And pretty much the run is dead as soon as I get knocked off if I get canceled out of the bullet time bounce. But here I see my opportunity. I am right next to this guy. And nobody, you can see he's still looking around for me. He doesn't have an arrow ready. I don't notice it, but I go. And I see him dock another arrow. He could have shot me again and just completely ruin it. But I go for the bounce and I get it pretty much perfectly. And I'm pretty done at this point because I'm like, wow, I just threw away a really good run and I'm on half a heart. So what am I going to do? So I actually got a really good angle here. Normally there's this box, right? And here's where the shrine is. And there's safe areas and unsafe areas. So this little box here is an unsafe area because there are actually 3 guardians that will wake up and attack you. And there's a whole cutscene that plays, and it wastes a lot of time, and you gotta run away from them. But this box is unsafe. This box is unsafe, and so is this box is unsafe from guardians. The only box that is safe is behind here and in the shrine itself. And going to the box with the shrine is the best, most optimal thing that I want to do. So that is what I do, and I get the fall damage cancel. So I'm on half a heart, and I actually can't do what I want to do. And I enter the shrine like normal. I'm pretty sure I waste a lot of time because, yeah, this is stupid. I pretty much am panicking at this point because I'm a little hyper. My blood sugar is a little higher. It's taking me a long time to enter the shrine. Yeah, because I'm kind of panicking. And I still here's the funny thing about this run. Normally I enter the shrine. I enter the shrine at about 14:30 is when I used to enter the shrine. I used to enter the shrine about 14 minutes 30 seconds. And here, this is my 3rd time ever. I had entered the shrine in less than 13 minutes. I entered the shrine under 13 minutes. It was only the 3rd time I've ever done that. So I'm on a really good pace, needless to say. Now, I could have plateaued PB. I could have plateaued PB'd this run. However, the Bocos messed me up, and yeah, the Bocos messed me up, and I didn't have any backup food. So the next trick I wanted to do is called a bomb impact launch, or a wind bomb. Basically, this involves placing two bombs and having one bomb explode and push the other bomb into Link and send him flying. Now, this takes up one heart of damage to do, but you also have to deal with fall damage. So, because I'm on half a heart, I can't do it because it takes up a heart of damage to do it. And I would die and lose more time than I would gain by just doing the old strat. So I just decide that it's instead of dying, it's better to just wait out this elevator and just yeah, it's better to just wait out this elevator. Also, you can see skew very clearly in that clip. So here I'm actually going to throw the round bomb in a specific place. I didn't actually get that, but good thing I had a square bomb. I'm blowing up these bombs down here so that I blow up the rocks so that I can climb up without needing to use the um, without needing to do the puzzle. But I still managed to get ahead of average, which was kind of impressive. But anyway, that's probably the worst part of this whole run was just that segment. So the rest of this run is pretty much going to be mistake free from my part. So here's the paraglider segment. In the last couple of runs, you're supposed to do a bomb impact launch to go towards this tree that you're going to use to stasis launch up to the Temple of Time. However, I decide I'm not going to do this, and it's because that bomb impact launch is very precise. It is the most precise bomb impact launch in the whole game, and I found a way to do it, but I get lag stopped every time because my camera position is off, and it's just, it's not optimal. So I decide to do the old route. I throw my bomb at this wall, and then I throw the round bomb to blow up this guardian so that I don't get the animation of the guardian awakening, and it saves some time. So I'm able to run over here, and here's the next part. This run was a no amiibo run, and there's a difference between an amiibo run and no amiibo run, and the main difference is very close to each other right here. So one of the ingredients, okay, so at the end of Hyrule Castle, I want to make a attack up potion, which will increase the amount of damage I deal by 50%. And I'm going to use this attack up potion to kill all of the Blights and Calamity Ganon and beat the game. But I want this attack up potion to kill them faster. So one of the ingredients is normally you'd use amiibos to spawn ingredients to make this attack up potion. But since I'm running no amiibo, we have to find the ingredients in other ways. And one of the ingredients is right here. It is a bladed rhino beetle. And he spawns in this area in front of bombs. Now I know for a fact that he can spawn either on this big tree or the tree right next to it, this big tree. So I take my chances and I'm gonna go run up to this beetle. However, I was walking too close to him and he flew away. So that sucked. That the bladed rhino beetle, he ran away. So we weren't able to get him. However, in this birch tree forest, there's 3 more locations that he can spawn. And the one I want is that tree that I'm looking at kind of over there because it's closest. But basically, I keep running and I'm kind of giving up at this point. And then, oh, there he is. He's just spawned on this tree right here. So I take my chances. I grab the bladed rhino beetle for my attack up potion, and here I do a stasis launch with a tree. Now, basically, I can grab onto this tree. I actually got really lucky here. I have no idea. No idea how this wasn't too early. Basically, I can grab onto this tree, stasis it up, use an arrow to change its direction, and fly all the way up to the Temple of Time. If you watch Terminal Montage, this is also known as the Oh My Hylia trick, as I've dubbed it. What in the name of Hylia trick? So that's pretty much it. After I come up here, I'm going to talk with the old man, skip all these three cutscenes, and grab the paraglider. And there you go. That's the paraglider segment. So that was a really good paraglider, 1720. My PB had about an 8. So, okay, here's what happened. My PB has an 18-minute paraglider, and my this run has a 1720 paraglider. So I'm about 40 seconds ahead, maybe. So I'm very ahead. And in my PB at this point, I'm thinking like, well, I have to get this next trick first try. And this next trick is the hardest trick in the entire game. In any category, this right here is the hardest single trick in Breath of the Wild. Period. So this is everything that I do is calculated. Everything I do has a purpose and is very precise. So here I whistle to get the Boko's attention. Now there's actually a Bokoblin at the entrance of the Temple of Time. And I be careful to not alert it when coming up to the Temple of Time. So here I whistle dead center in the Temple of Time. So to attract the Boko. So as you can see, the Boko, you saw a little question mark down there that showed up, and that was the Boko saying, I heard your, he heard my thing, he heard my whistle. Also, I do a shield jump here to get rid of skew. Skew makes BTBs go higher, and I lose a lot of speed by making my BTB go too high. So I don't get enough speed to go where I want to go. So here I actually do a standard shield jump. I whistle to get the Boko into his position, and then I basically set up very precisely at a point where I want to shoot. I get Link's position by very precisely positioning myself with this little dot here. And I shoot the arrow at this precise location, right there. I shoot it, and basically everything here I do is calculated. I swing the axe fully, wait till it gets around here, do a backflip, and do I press the attack button at the same time. This kind of makes Link backflip and throw his axe forward. This is this is a weird mechanic in this game that when you jump and press the attack button, Link will do a special attack. I think it's to kind of prevent you from cheesing the Thunderblight fight and from cheesing um, flurry rushes. I really have no idea why this attack exists, but it helps a lot for setting up because Link gets a huge boost forwards. Completely changes his angle, which makes this possible. So here, when the question mark settles, that means the Boko is looking around. He is looking for where the whistle came from. So at this point, I take my advantage. When he settles, I jump. And I'm jumping all the way down. And I'm trying to get his head to be swing to the left. And that's when I want to pull out my bow and do the bullet time bounce. This bullet time bounce has 1 frame window. I have a 1 in 30, like 1/30th of a second to pull out the bow and do this bullet time bounce. And I gotta press Y immediately. Some people unequip their bow to get the most amount of stamina out of this bullet time bounce. Except it usually messes me up, so I opt not to do that. So I do it unbuffered. A 1 frame window, completely unbuffered. Boko's right where I need to be, do it, and there you go. 1 frame.
Oh my gosh.
And you can hear it in my reaction. Let's actually show the reaction.
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely glorious reaction. So you might be wondering, okay, that was a bullet time bounce. That was a really hard bullet time bounce. We get it. Where on earth are you gonna go with this bullet time bounce? You've gotten the paraglider. Where are you gonna go? Are you gonna go to a field to grab a horse to go to a divine beast, or what are you gonna do now? So the game doesn't actually require you to beat any divine beast to beat Ganon. So theoretically, we could just go straight to Ganon. That's exactly what I do here. Like, wait, how is this even possible? So I was at the top of the Temple of Time, and I jumped all the way down to the bottom. That's a lot of distance, and Link reaches basically terminal velocity during that fall, off of like basically a four-story building. So when I pull out the bow, I redirect all of my velocity from the Boca's back off to like outwards. I redirect all of my terminal velocity basically from falling, and I redirect it outwards. Because of the way the Boco is positioned, I'm able to bounce off of him and go outwards. And my speed, remember, is multiplied by 17. So I'm basically going 17 times terminal velocity. I'm basically breaking the sound barrier at this point. Link is basically flying through Hyrule Field at the speed of a jet with nothing but a paraglider and some wooden shields, like random stuff that he just found. And I'm just flying through Hyrule Field faster than the speed of sound. So over here, I'm actually managing my stamina because I had to manage my stamina from earlier. I'm coming over to this little spot here. So what was kind of weird is I don't know if you heard that, but the castle got immediately loaded. Like it was very strange. The castle is supposed to not load immediately because Link is actually going so stinking fast that the game has to stop him to load the game because the game can't handle him going to areas so quickly. So that's why those little stops happen. It's not the stream or anything or the video, it's actually the game itself doing that. But when I come to Hyrule Castle, obviously the game hasn't caught up. It doesn't know where I am, so it doesn't do the activation cutscene to tell us that I'm in Hyrule Castle now. Because I was moving so fast, but for some reason the cutscene played immediately. I didn't have to wait at all, which can be a good thing, but can also be a bad thing because it loads a lot of stuff too. So here, there's two boxes inside of this outpost, and one has some arrows. These arrows are actually just helpful for no amiibo. They're not actually required, they just help out a lot. So here I got three arrows, which is kind of okay luck. It's not very good luck, but it's okay. And here comes the next bad thing about no amiibo, is this box right here has the chance to drop mighty bananas. And I want at least one out of this box. I cannot continue the run until I get at least one banana out of this box. And each time I don't get the banana, I have to reload, which loses about 20 seconds each time I reload. So this can either save a run or kill a run. And obviously, two times in a row, I don't get it. I don't get it. Two times in a row. At this point, I'm looking at the time and I'm like 1950, 20, like it's not gonna. I'm basically not gonna PB. At this point, I'm very much expecting myself not to PB. So I get the banana. I say it's completely out of my control, but then I get double bananas. So banana has about a 50 to 60% chance of spawning each banana. So the fact that I get double bananas is about 1 in 4th chance, about 25% chance of happening. But I also didn't get any bananas at all the first two tries. But the fact that I got two bananas actually saves a text box later on. Because for my attack up potion, I need three ingredients that increase attack, which is mighty bananas and can be other things like razor shrooms too. But because I got two mighty bananas here, I already know that there's a third mighty banana later on. If I grab that third mighty banana, I don't need to grab any sort of razor shroom or anything like that at all. I can only use those three bananas. And now I have three bananas and a razor. Um, yeah, the beetle. The beetle. The beetle also gives attack up as well, but it's used for elixirs because it's a monster technically. Technically. And also, since it's a beetle, we need monster parts. Because you can't make elixirs with food, you make elixirs with monster parts. So for some reason, it allows us to put bananas in a potion. That probably wouldn't taste very good, but doesn't matter. I use this bomb here to blow up both of these rock things at once so I can grab my weapons. So I don't know if let me see here where I'm at. Okay, so this is the first weapon I grabbed. This is a Royal Guard sword, one of the most powerful weapons in Breath of the Wild, except it has very low durability. And I'm basically going to, but since durability doesn't really matter, I'm going to be grabbing most of these weapons. Now, I'm also going to be exploiting sneak strikes, which basically, if you sneak up behind an enemy and strike them without them knowing, you can deal 8 times the amount of damage you normally would. So take 48 times 8, and you pretty much insta kill pretty much every enemy. So we're going to use this to our advantage. I haven't killed anything basically, so all the enemies here are not upgraded, so they're all the
What the?
black variant, which is the second highest, second strongest. So here is a miracle. I don't think this will ever happen to any other Breath of the Wild speedrunner, but basically, I want this Lizzle Foss, I want his shield and I want his boomerang, because that will help us later on in the fight against Ganon. So here I'm getting his attention, so he comes to attack me. And I grab this square bomb, and I'm supposed to place it in between these two barrels here. This will distract the Lizzle enough so that when I leave and come back, he will still be distracted and I can sneak strike him and take his stuff. However, instead of pressing A, I press R for some reason, which is the button to throw. So I throw it against the wall, and in a panic, I know that the Lizzle is not attracted to the bomb; he's attracted to me, and he's gonna. And Lizzles are really fast. They will run up on me, and he's just gonna slice me with his boomerang and kill me instantly. So in a mad dash of a panic, I grab the bomb and I just chuck it in the direction of where I wanted to put it in the first place to get him away from me. So if you look here, I chucked it, and where is it going? That's right. It landed right in front of the two barrels. That is a miracle that I threw the bomb perfectly so that it landed on there and it landed right in front of the two barrels.
Go
So when
after
I
him.
run, I'm running away in a panic because I think he's chasing me. But then I run
Wait,
and I realized
he
he
actually went after
actually went after the bomb and not me. So I come down here and I sneak strike this moblin and
He
grab
actually
this
didn't just
bow
run over and kill me.
and
He like
also grab this royal claymore. I accidentally grabbed a rusty claymore on accident, so I'm actually gonna get rid of it later on. I'll switch to it because it has like higher range, so I can destroy these boxes easier and then just throw it away because we don't want it. So here is where I'm getting all my arrows. Make sure to not pick up the rusty claymore. Good thing was no arrows actually landed near the claymore, so I could just skip the claymore entirely. So here as well, I it looks kind of weird that I actually lost all my stamina by climbing up that pillar, but there's not really another way to get up. You can use fire to climb up, but unless you're doing a risky strat, it takes a long time and really just isn't worth it. So it's better to just run out of stamina and climb up the whole thing. So I'm running over here, and this was a miracle. Look at this. So usually the Lizzle, when you put down this bomb, like when you throw bombs at enemies, they have a chance to, well, most of the time they run up to it to swat it away because they know that the bomb is going to kill them. They know that. Higher enemies do. So things like higher than blue enemies are going to swat away bombs so that they don't get blown up by them. But the Lizzle has a chance to just dance in front of the bomb. He doesn't even swat the bomb because if he swats the bomb, he can actually swat the bomb out of the two barrels here and swat it somewhere else, which is very bad because it means we have to run away and we also have the chance to maybe he's like gonna come after me And at this point, I'm not very scared um, coming in here because I'm thinking like, oh, he's probably went back home because I hadn't heard him swatting the bomb. So I'm gonna attract him and actually know that I have at least one electric arrow. And electric arrows, if you shock an enemy, they drop all their stuff. So I can just shock him and grab all of his stuff. It'll be a little unfortunate because I want to save on arrows, but it's okay. But here he's actually dancing, and he's not going to hit the bomb while he's dancing. And I can literally just run up to him,
He
sneak
is
strike him,
making the
and I'm done.
face. What the?
And I am astounded. This is a miracle. I had no idea. I kind of threw the bomb randomly as a mad dash, but it landed exactly where I wanted it to. How? At this point, I'm just going crazy. And also, that was the razor shroom that I skipped because I have 3 bananas and I don't need that razor shroom. So here I'm actually going to sneak strike this moblin with the stone smasher because I want his weapon. I want his stone smasher. Here I accidentally grab meat on accident. So I go on over here and I want to grab these guts. Now these guts are actually going to maximize my amount of time that the elixir lasts. So by using 3 bananas, the razor, whatever, beetle, and the guts, I can make my elixir. And I'm also going to grab the stone smasher as well that dropped from the moblin. So now I have 6 minutes and 30 seconds. That's not a lot of time. I'm just grabbing some other stuff here to get to the blights. And why do I say blights? It's because before beating the game, if you don't beat any of the blights, which is the divine beast, if you don't beat any divine beast and you just go straight to Ganon, you still have to fight the blights anyway. The bosses from each of the divine beasts teleport to the sanctum, and you gotta beat them in the sanctum one after another, basically a boss rush. You gotta beat each of the 4 blights one after another before reaching Calamity Ganon. Now, normally this is a very hard gauntlet, and I only have 6 minutes and 30 seconds to beat all 4 blights and Calamity Ganon. How? Well, that's in-game time, so it doesn't count the time that, obviously I'm in menus and stuff.
What?
Also, this was a dead angle. I think that's what happened, but I had no idea why that happened because I tried it again and immediately got it. I don't know if I had ragdoll or whatever, but I pretty much tried it again and immediately got it. Okay, I'm doing some BILs up here to approach the sanctum, and I'm approaching the sanctum in a specific place because Wind Blight is the first Blight Ganon that we fight. Except we're not going to fight him. We're actually going to skip his fight entirely. With a very precise arrow shot, what happens is during cutscenes where the blights spawn, time is frozen. So arrows don't move, enemies stay still, falling, anything will just stay where it is. Nothing really happens. But during a blight spawning cutscene, so what I'm going to do is set up Link's position very, very precisely with swings and side hops and backflips. I basically set up so that when I shoot the arrow, I'm going to hold walking forward, and I'm going to make the arrow land right in Windblight's eye while he's spawning in. So while he's spawning in, I'm dealing damage, but I'm dealing damage every frame. And this bow does 50 damage, and because it's multiplied by my elixir that I will drink, it does 75 damage to him. And that blight, I think he has 4,000 health, but every frame he's getting hit by 75 damage. So you multiply that by how long the cutscene is, it's a lot of damage that we're dealing to this poor guy. And I walk forward, I shoot the arrow, and you can see Windblight does not like this at all. With an arrow stuck in his eye, the bit rate drops. Yeah, that's how I know I got it. Is because he's just shaking. No, no, I ain't fighting this guy. He's too powerful, and I kill him in one shot. So Wind Blight's down, and it didn't use up any time in. That's 1/4 of all of the blights down, and I still have full time on my elixir. So the other blights here, basically water blights. I hit him twice, and basically I want him to kind of do that spear thrust at me. And then I can run over here and try to get double hits by hitting his hand, his body, and sometimes I can hit his body twice, hit his hand once, and do that, which is triple hits. And that's a way to do a very quick wind blight or water blight. Sorry, but here I only get double hits, so I have to hit him a couple times with normal standing hits because I'm out of stamina. But then at the very end, there we go. I basically hit him a couple times and did a jump attack to do an AoE effect as well as kind of a last thing to get off of phase one. So that's phase one of Water Blight. Getting double hits is very important. So next thing here, he's in phase two. He's supposed to just like shoot up water or whatever out of the ground, which makes this actually a pretty annoying fight, except there's no water. So we just kind of in the air. So we just headshot him twice, and when he's on the ground, we spin to win with getting double hits with our Claymore. And also, if I didn't already, I think this is the first time double hits have shown up, but double hits are if Link is facing away from an enemy, um, he has a chance to hit an item twice before in one spin. So that's what I'm doing here. It basically doubles the amount of effectiveness of spin attacks, which is why we spin to win. So I actually got pretty lucky here, and I shot him twice again, and I only needed like one slam attack with Stone Smasher, and we're done with Water Blight. So on to Fire Blight. Fire Blight gets stunned super easy. He's one of the easiest blights because he literally gets stunned from bombs. Bombs stun Water Blight, like really. And if you throw two bombs at him in quick succession, he falls to the ground, and you basically can lay load on him. But also, if you spin attack him and do three rotations around him, and then slam and do three rotations and slam, it'll also make him go ragdoll. So I'm hitting him three times by doing three rotations and slamming. And now that he's in his ragdoll state, I'm going to use my most powerful weapon. And basically, yeah, I'm just going to wail on him with it. And I know it's about to break, so I just chuck it at him. Throwing weapons deals critical damage. I don't know what the damage multiplier is, but I know that it deals a lot of damage to him, which pretty much instantly can make him go into phase two. So here I pull out the boomerang and I throw down a bomb. We're actually going to use his bomb because he's going to, use apparently Daruk's protection. I don't understand. But he uses fire attack. He's got to throw like a fire thing at me, but we can just blow him up with a bomb. Here I actually get kind of lucky. I'm trying to get double hits and to one cycle him, but I'm just one hit away from one cycling him. So I have to wait. Sadly, I have to wait for him to respawn and hit him once again to finish off Fire Blight. So next is Thunder Blight, the last one and hardest one. Thunder Blight, many people hate Thunder Blight because he is by far the hardest Blight. He is very quick and can only be damaged with flurry rushes or parries. Or at least that's what you think. The other way that we can damage him is by breaking his shield, and the shield gets broken with full swings of any weapon. So spears, not very good. It doesn't really break the shield very well, and it takes a lot of hits to break it. But two-handed weapons, it only takes two. So we just break his shield with two hits, and I'm doing double hits to knock him down, but I didn't get enough hits on him. When I slammed, it only did the AoE effect damage. It didn't actually do the full damage that would make him go into a ragdoll. So I had to headshot him quickly before he regenerated his shield so that I can get first phase done. Now, the thing about this is at this point, I know I have pretty good arrows, but Wind Blight, Thunder Blight is actually in the wrong. He's gonna do a different pattern than what I want, and it's a little slower. Normally, I'm supposed to break his shield in the second half of the fight and pretty much kill him instantly. But he's not gonna regenerate his shield immediately because I did things out of order in the first phase, which messed up his pattern for the second phase. So here, the Fort Sling is supposed to break his shield, but it doesn't. He, I have to shoot him with an arrow again, ragdoll again, and then hit him 4 times and break his shield. Then I can spin to win with him on the with the Royal Claymore and kill him. Oh, I accidentally went into the home menu trying to skip the cutscene. Whoops. All right, so here we have Calamity Ganon. We're at the final boss of the game. Also the hardest boss. I mean, he's not that hard once you get used to him, but because you're usually very stressed out at Ganon. Your heart's pumping, your adrenaline's running, and it's easy to make mistakes. So I gotta not make any mistakes. So here I throw my Royal Claymore at him to reset his position because right there he's got usually a lot of attacks that he can do, and some of them I don't want. So he actually did an attack I don't want, so I threw my Royal Claymore at him. It actually did a pretty decent chunk of health, and now he uses his because after you throw the sword at him, he uses his big sword, which is very easy to dodge. So I perfect dodge, um, I sword strike, and then I run over to this corner because this corner, the game actually kind of pities you because it's kind of impressed that you made it this far. So it gives you some items in the corner here, which is a royal sword, a royal shield, and 10 bomb arrows. With the 10 bomb arrows that we want, and a royal claymore too, which I will use later. So I'm basically gonna spam Calamity with arrows. So he actually shooting lasers at me, but the lasers won't make contact with me unless I'm standing still. So as long as I'm constantly moving, it won't really make contact. Like the laser won't actually shoot me. Now here I need to get headshots because headshots deal like twice the amount of damage normally. So it's just always good to get headshots. So I wasn't very good with headshots because he was really close to me. I actually didn't do very well with headshots this whole Ganon fight, but I had really good RNG with Ganon, which allowed me to PB with Ganon. So I am hitting his head a lot, is dealing a ton of damage to him, and I basically get down to 2 arrows, and it takes 2 arrows to get him off of the wall, and it has to be 2 bomb arrows. So to prevent him from, in the case he goes on the wall again, I switched to different arrows, headshot him more, and first phase is over. So next here, Ganon puts up this protective shield where he can't be attacked unless you flurry rush or parry. You have to do one of the two in order to deal damage to him. And here he doesn't. I don't want to flurry rush him because that's just slow. So he does a big sword attack. So I got to dodge this fire that comes out, deals a heart and a half of damage. Takes a lot of damage. But here he actually gives me what I wanted. I want to parry his laser. So usually, if he does this horizontal swing with the fire, he will do a parry immediately afterwards. So I can just run up to my normal area. I use an audio cue and do a parry. So then I need to hit his face 3 times with a boomerang, switch over to this, and then here comes a stun lock. Basically, I don't know why this happens. It is very strange. Nobody understands it. But if you do a spin to win at Ganon, and he's like recovering, and he puts the spear down into the ground to stand back up. If you slam right after he does that, he usually stands up, and Ganon in the second phase, when he stands up, immediately afterwards he will like get on his hind legs and put up that protective shield again. Except I hit him like right before he put up the protective shield. Like while he's putting up the protective shield, the AoE damage hits him, which confuses the heck out of him. He's like, "What on earth just happened? Did I get hit? Like, did he parry?" Well, he must have parried because I had the protective shield open. So he gets stunned again. And then he immediately gets back up because he realizes, oh, wait a second, you never actually parried me. And then we just go through this whole cycle of me spinning to winning. He's confused, thinks I'm parrying or whatever, and then he gets stunned again, immediately gets back up, and I'm basically just doing tons of double hits to him. Tons of damage. I'm using this Royal Guards Claymore because it's the most powerful weapon I have, and I'm kind of expecting it to break, but because I was actually pretty effective with hits, I just really quickly just did the stun lock, and I golded Calamity saving 45 seconds, which is really where most of the time save in this run comes from. And here is Dark Beast. Dark Beast is a joke. Dark Beast is basically your you're done. I mean, I'm literally standing here, and the laser just passes me. Like he literally misses the first laser at you. That laser insta kills you, but I just kind of like stand still, and he just misses. Dark Beast is kind of intimidating, but he's also super underwhelming because he's not very powerful at all. He's kind of a joke. So this boss fight is basically target practice for next run, is what a lot of runners like to call it. I'm gonna run over here. He's gonna shoot his lasers, whatever, and Zelda's gonna shoot up these light things that I gotta shoot with the bow of light to damage Dark Beast, because that's the only way we can damage him with the bow of light.
Yeah, dude. Oh my gosh. What the heck? What is
So
this?
I'm very much
What was that
freaking out at
puzzle?
this point because I've never gotten a Ganon like that before. Also, this is an RNG manipulation to help Dark Beast go back to the right position. As you can see here, he went in a good position. That was an RNG manipulation to get him to go in the right spot, and it seemed to work. Anyway, we go back to do what Zelda's trying to tell us to do, and I actually missed the first shot, but it was okay. I barely lost any time because I was able to get it in bullet time. I go into bullet time to make it easier to hit those other two shots, so that's why. So here I'm actually standing right underneath Dark Beast because I want him to walk forward. He actually does in this instant because of the RNG manipulation. Haha, JK. He walks forward, which is actually really useful because if he turns on me, his foot could hit the horse, it could hit me, it could kill me because of the malice. It's just bad. So the fact that he walked forward is pretty good, and he basically just keeps walking. He doesn't shoot an arrow or shoot lasers, so I can just shoot the thing under his belly instantly. So here's the final shots with the bow of light, and once the bow of light hits Ganon's health, it's time. So I just gotta jump when his eye opens up, and time. And that is how I beat Breath of the Wild in 33 minutes and 22 seconds. If you have any questions about any tricks that I used, be sure to comment them below. Maybe I can help you out if you're trying to do runs of your own. Maybe I can help clear up any questions you have had about this game. I'm really happy that this game is the most active Zelda speedrunning game because it really is just that good. Um, and I really want to thank the community for kind of being there. It's a really supportive community, and if you want to speedrun this game, that's half the reason why I speedrun this game is because the community is so good. Which is just good. The community of this game is very good. They're very accepting, and nobody judges you. If you ha- if you're new to speedrunning, everybody has been there. Everybody knows being new to speedrunning it's like, so you should never be embarrassed if your time is bad, because your time's not bad. For example, this time was really good for me. This was my personal best. However, for someone in top 10, this is a really bad run. This is an awful run for people in top 10. But for me, who's not even top 50 yet, this is a really good run. So basically, yeah, everybody's super supportive of each other, and never be afraid to submit runs or personal bests because you think they are not good enough, because nobody cares. You're not going to get last place. Last place is like 6 hours. You'll be fine. And the whole thing about this is just having fun. If you're not having fun speedrunning, just don't do it. But, it is a lot of fun to speedrun. And it's very rewarding to get a personal best. Especially now when I'm rising in the ranks, It feels like I'm almost entering a new level of speedrunning that I never thought was capable before. And you'll feel that too, because if you keep practicing this run, keep practicing this game, you will get better. And of course, there are many different categories than just any percent. You can speedrun anything in this game. You can speedrun any percent, all dungeons, Master Sword dungeons, all main quests. You could do 100%. It's like 19 hours. Yeah, this game has got a lot to it, and um, it is my favorite game of all time. So speedrunning it and doing personal best and watching this community grow is very good because it's half the reason why I speedrun this game is for the community. So if you like that kind of stuff and you wish to just get into this yourself, you can. This whole thing is about journey and personal growth and just seeing yourself grow because you are growing and you're getting better. And you can physically see that through your splits and your times and your PBs. You can physically see your hard work paying off. And even something as small as a time in a children's video game can be one of the most satisfying things in the world. So that's it. That is my explanation of my 33-22 minute run of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, which secures me at who cares place, because nobody cares. I do this for fun. I don't care what place I get. I care about my own personal growth, and you should never really compare yourself to others because different people have different skill levels. It all depends on each person. It is very like an individual sport. You're not really competing against other people when you speedrun. You're competing against yourself. Of course, when you get to top 10, yeah, then you can start competing against other people. But, starting off, this run was really, it explained pretty much beginner stuff. I wasn't explaining like ragdoll or anything like that. I wasn't explaining unloaded manip or anything like that. Well, yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you all very much for watching. Subscribe if you want more content like this. I will be making more videos in the future. I do have an inconsistent upload schedule, so if you want to subscribe, you can if you want, but won't judge you if you don't subscribe. It doesn't bother me. If you did enjoy this video, be sure to like and just to tell me you liked the video. If you didn't like the video, do dislike and leave in the comments what I did wrong and what you would like me to do better so that I can improve my videos and make them better for you guys. So yeah, that's Breath of the Wild in 3322. I got this idea from the Smitch Man. His nickname is basically Smitch, but he's in Discord and stuff. Also, by the way, you should definitely join the Discord if you want to speedrun. Post your PBs. You'll get a guaranteed GG from me or from other people. So anyway, this whole video is inspired by Smitch because he does analysis videos of his PBs, and I thought, oh, that sounds like fun, so I did it. But yeah, that's it for me, guys. Thank you very much for watching this run. Have a great night, and I'll see you all in the next video.